Hey guys, welcome to the Bangers Only podcast. This is Clarke. You can check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as always, and I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're finally back after a really long break. Clarke, how does it feel?
It feels good. It was a long break, and I missed the podcast for sure.
I missed it, but our mental health break was needed. Everybody needs a mental health break.
We do, and we did, and it came at a great time because of all the stuff that's going on in Oregon where I'm at, and school with classes starting for both of us. We just needed a little bit of time to get back into the groove of things, it feels like. Hello and welcome to the Bangers Only podcast.
We're back now.
Be sure to check us out on YouTube.
We're coming back
Spotify,
with this
and
dope
Apple Podcasts.
episode.
We hope you guys enjoy it.
Clarke's single, The Max. Dude,
Yes.
honestly, it was so great to see everything come together. Like, this thing was being worked on since March, And then when we got kicked off campus, everything just got that song just got put on hold because there wasn't any access to the studio. There wasn't a lot to really go do. And also just dealing with COVID and, adjusting your life to that. I don't know. Do you guys still wear face masks over there in Oregon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not over. But we're all getting used to it, I think. It's normalized for me to go out, wear a mask when I go to the store,
Mm-hmm. But I saw this thing. My bad. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
I saw this thing the other day where someone said instead of doing what other countries did and just going on lockdown for 2 weeks and getting rid of the virus, us as America, we were just we'll just learn to live with it. And that's not really okay.
No.
But that's just what happened. We were just fuck it. We're just going to live with it and we're just going to wear a mask and see what happens. We're just going to ride this out.
Yeah, I know. And it's people keep saying it's not that bad and that all the COVID deaths are not actually from COVID. But if someone has an underlying health condition prior to getting COVID and then they get it, they're likely to die. Just how it's gone. But we don't need to get into all that.
No, we're not. Little tangent. It happens.
Back to March, though.
Back to March.
That's when I first made the beat. I was looking at the project earlier and for the beat, and it says March 1st, 2020. And it's interesting, too, because I do remember that the early weeks of March, we were all kind of what is this COVID thing? It's not even going to affect us, And then, I've been working on that EP with you that whole year, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan was to release it in the summer. And that obviously didn't happen because then we got sent home mid-March. I think it was March 12th or 13th or something. And I had to basically put that whole thing on hold because I can't work on that project at home because we started it in the studio there and we need the equipment there. So then I had just been working on other songs. This song happened. I think I must have just been in my dorm making a beat, and it came to be. But we can get more in depth in how it started.
Just explain to me when you started the beat, where do you start? When you first open up your Logic session, you're I want to make something. What's your go-to?
Well, it's different, and this one was different than what I usually do because what I usually do is a melody will play in my head, and I'll be because I guess I should say it always starts with the melody for me. I don't really start with the drums or whatever. I'll think of a melody and then I'll go and I'll play it on just a basic piano and then I'll do something with it and then it'll go from there. But with this project, I remember I had thought of something and then I made it and then it was trash, so I scrapped it, and then I was just going through just Logic software instruments and synth chord stabs and stuff like that. And the main instrument, the main synth at the beginning of the track that plays throughout, both of them actually, the two synths I used are just synth chord software instruments. So you press one key and it plays a chord. And I played it. I remember I was oh, that's kind of hard. And then I literally just played the little melody thing, and then it just went from there. And it's a very simple beat. It's a pretty easy one to make.
Yeah, I remember hearing it for the first time stabs, like the synth stabs. And I was like, okay, where is this leading to? And then like, you know, you bring in the actual beat, like the kick, snare, the hi-hats, and like it just all kind of fit together, you know?
Yeah, I got lucky with that because I know you probably feel this too, but like if you go in there and like there's obviously so many instruments, there's so many things that you can use, and like you don't always get the right things, and then it just like becomes a mess. And like your hi-hat needs to sound great, your kick needs to sound great, and I believe it was the synth and then it was the kick is where I went from there. And that kick is pretty, it's just a stock like Logic kick. I did obviously a bunch of shit to it, but um I like left it a little subby to kind of create that side chain effect with the bass when I brought the 808 in.
Yeah.
And the 808 was fun too.
Yeah. You like to use the ES2 a lot, right? So the ES2.
I did. I don't so much anymore. I use the ES2 on a couple tracks for an 808 sound. It's just like it gets really muddy if you like keep it really like low endy, you know? Because it's a synth. Like you're using a synth to make an 808, and like it works. Like it obviously worked for the track. It's a very like resounding, like heavy bass sound, which I wanted for this track. But if you don't want that, you can't use it on too many different things. But yeah, I really liked how the the sub bass, the 808, whatever you want to call it, sounded in this track.
For sure, for sure. I liked it for sure. What was the synth that came in on the Switch?
The Switch, so that synth was the same as like kind of the hook, I guess you could call it, in the first part of the track. Um, it's another one of those chord synths where it's just like a chord where when you press a key, like I said. And that switch though, the switch is interesting because like I had never really done a like beat switch up to that point. And I mean, it's not really even like a beat switch. Like it is, but the beat is the same. I just like lowered the tempo by like I don't know how much, but I remember I was like listening to the track when I first made it because at first it was just the same tempo throughout, and then I was like, okay, what if I like slowed it down? What would that sound like? And I didn't even like know how at that point, so I like looked up how do you like lower the tempo in the middle of a track, and it just happened, and I was like, wait, this is really hard, and it was. That beat switch is fire. Everyone likes the beat switch, which I'm glad about.
Yeah, that was really dope. I mean, I didn't expect it, because when you send me the audio, like when you send me the file, I kind of look at the little waveforms that it has at the bottom just to see like what can I expect from that. And I was like, it went quiet for a bit. I'm like, it's about to get really quiet. What's gonna happen? And then like you were like, and I switch, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, like what the hell? And like it just like it gave me goosebumps. It did. And I remember listening to it for the first time in the car with my dad.
I was with your dad.
Yeah, I was like, you want to hear this? He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't know what it's gonna sound like, so let's just see. So we just played it, and like we were playing it in my car, and like my car has the subs, and like that beat switch like hits so hard, and it was so nice.
It's really. Oh, go ahead.
No, like my dad's not like he doesn't get hype like I do when I hear things. So I was like, ooh, and I was like freaking out in the passenger seat. And then I look at him, he was like, it's okay. I was like, what the heck, Dad? Like, come on, like that was good,
Yeah. That's cool though that he listened to it with you. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. When it switches, I feel like it just sounds so like I don't know. The 808 it works perfectly in that sense because it sounds so warm and just full, when it changes and you're just like, wait, that sounds so good. I don't know. I love that part of the track. And I guess one of my other favorite parts of the track is like harder to hear, but I have a flute in there. And I like that flute.
It comes in, it has like a little bit of an appearance. It comes in like for like, I want to say maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, it comes in for a few bars right before the switch, and then it comes in later on in the song.
I like that thing you did with like the piano or whatever it was, but it sounded like you were just like walking down the piano. It was like dun, dun. Yeah, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about.
That thing.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah,
I love that thing too.
It was just like,
I don't even remember what it was.
It wasn't it's not like right in your face. It's just like in the background, but it literally feels like there's something like just falling down like a staircase, and just like it's working, you know. But
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, and like especially when like you were like feeling like the motherfucking man, right? And then
Yeah,
like the
and
way
it
the beat
cuts
went,
out.
pow, pow, and it came right back with the synth. Oh, dude, that was so hard.
That's my favorite part of the song. Just I don't know
Mm.
why that part is just hits so hard.
It
But
it hits so hard because one, I remember hearing that with just like the instrumental. I heard that beat switch and I heard that part. And I was like, ooh, I wonder what he's gonna do here. And then you sent me the project. You're like, here, work on the vocals. And I listened to it just raw. I wanted to just see what the bars were. And I was like, I was losing my mind after every single bar. And then like I was like, oh, what's he gonna do in the beat switch? What's he gonna do? And then it got there, and like you're like feeling like the motherfucking man. I was like, oh my god, like I was just losing it because I was like, dude, you worked it in so perfectly, like that you made that spot for yourself. Like I feel like when you're making that, you're like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do here, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, I don't even think I had that part. I might have had that part in when I was first made it or whatever, but I don't even remember how like I wrote the song cuz I think I wrote it like before I even finished the beat and I was like, okay. And then I had to go and change it when I had like the all the stuff in the beat switch, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you brought up the whole thing about the bars cuz uh it's nice to hear that you were also enjoying them, especially my Star Wars bars. I
Dude,
thought those were
those
so
are
fun.
the absolute best. Like the Mace one, midi
Yeah,
chlorians to piss.
Master Windu taught
Yeah,
me. I got midichlorians that piss on other
other Padawans,
Padawans.
dude. That thing, I use it as a caption the other day.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, oh, this fucking bar goes so hard. And then I remember when I first heard it, first thing I did, I was like, and I got on my phone and I was like, hold on, hold on. I started texting Trevor because he's like, he's a nerd, but not like as nerdy as like me or you can be. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's like, he told me once, he was like, oh, I'm a closet nerd.
yeah. No,
you know?
you told me about that.
Yeah. So like when I showed him those bars, he was like, oh, that's hard, you know? Um, But no, definitely
It's
like
just
those were some of my favorite bars for
yeah,
sure.
and it's like I like this track too because like it's really not too serious. You know what I mean? And like I didn't like serious songs are all fun and all, but like I usually make serious songs, and like this song was solely just fun to make. You know, I mean, I literally talked about Star Wars,
Yeah.
and like I talked about it in that part, and then I had those other bars where I was talking about like Crash My Fighter. A while back, I lifted rocks
Rock
and
and
boulders. You
Boulder.
know, like
Yeah.
that Empire Strikes Back scene, and then do no try like
Yeah.
Yoda.
Yeah. Do no try. Dude, that one was
Yeah,
so good.
that was a bar, but
Um,
yeah, it was just fun. I mean, like that's the whole point of it. I don't want people to like hear it and be like, "Oh, the bars aren't like, you know, immaculate," but like they're not supposed to be. You know what I mean?
immaculate.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just want people to know like this is just fun, and it was
Yeah.
really fun.
It felt fun. Like you listen to it and you just have fun with it. One
Yeah,
of the things I did like the most, I think when I was editing some vocals, I realized that the part where you just started going ham and you were like, where you were saying Master Windu taught me. Like that whole thing at the end, you did a little, huh, right? And I was like, wait a minute. And I looked and like, you kind of did that all in one take, huh?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, you did that whole thing like from start to finish. And I looked and I was like, whoa, this isn't chopped up. Like this is one take. And
that was. Go ahead.
it was just like for me, I was like happy to see that because I remember when we first started when we first started recording this stuff, like it would be really hard to just keep going that long. And like as a producer seeing that in you, like an artist and also a producer, like that's improvement, and that's like getting better,
Yeah,
because you're constantly getting better with your writing and like you're producing, but then like with actually like the vocal skill that it takes and like the amount, like that's just talent to just go that long. And then you throw in
thank
that
you.
little laugh to just like it's just like
Yeah.
you did it. It was cool.
Nah, like I don't like the unnatural punch-ins that like a lot of artists do, and like it seems like because I was listening to this Kanye song the other day, a more modern Kanye song, so like his breath capacity is not as good. But like it's just chopped up. Like every other bar is like a new take, and it's like it sounds really robotic, and not like dissing on Kanye or whatever, but like I don't know. I for this song, like it easily the entire song could have been one take. It wasn't because like there were parts that I wanted to get perfect like on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like you, I mean, you know how I am about having like breaths in there. I like it to sound natural and
Yeah.
but yeah, that part. I mean, it was a really easy. Like it seems like it was hard, but since it was like one cadence and like one like melody, like it was kind of I wasn't going all over the place. But it was
Mm-hmm.
like I got my own issues, like so what? No one gonna share their tissues, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that difficult. I feel like, um, but I mean, I really appreciate you saying that you admire that and its talent.
Yeah. Like it was just great to see like it in one whole chunk. You know, like there wasn't any like punch ins. It was just one whole go, and I was like, whoa. You know.
Yeah,
And then the other part I like too, you did it was a part where you're like you know, people like, you know, saying goals that don't really want to meet them, and then you're like, huh, they don't mean it, or something like that, or
yeah,
something like that. It went like that, and I was like, wow, like that was good. He low key just burned people, just you know,
yeah.
it was like a diss, but like more of like a general diss to people that like set goals and they're just like whatever, you know.
I think I kind of like the beat switch for that one reason that like the first half of the track is more like fun, me not really talking about much, but just the come up and a flex. But
Yeah.
then when the beat switches, I get a little bit more like I'm here, like let's slow it down for a second and
Mm-hmm.
make sure we all know that. You know what I mean? Um,
The
because then I
crop
just start off. I'm
circles.
like, I'm feeling like the motherfucking man.
Yeah.
How do you feel? You know?
Yeah, but then you
Um,
came in with the crop circles, you know.
that bar is so hard.
That
Running crop circles with my aliens.
yeah.
Y'all ain't even in my field right now.
Dude, yeah, that was like that was a flex. I mean, like honestly, like I liked it, and like I know, I feel like knowing you, you know, and being tight and constantly working on music, it's like I can totally agree with that bar. Like, there's a lot of people I know that I'm like, yeah, they're not in the same field. No way. You know,
Yeah.
they might crank out like, you know, 3 songs a month maybe if they're lucky because they're just pumping stuff out. But it's like at the end of the day, it all kind of sounds the same.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like with you, it's like you're very particular. You know, we rarely use like heavy auto tune. Like you never use heavy auto tune.
No, never.
You know, if anything, it's like one minor adjustment here and there because like
Yeah.
you're pretty like vocally skilled, or like you know you're musically talented.
Thank
You
you.
know, so like it's easier like as a producer to see that and be like, okay, cool, like I don't have to do much to that.
Thank
You
you.
know,
I mean, I'm glad that I can hear it from your perspective, and it can be out there too. Like, I don't want to sound like cocky or whatever, but I put in the work. You feel me? And like at this point, I know it's my first single out there, but it's not the first song I've wrote. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? And I really like the fact that it's my first song that's out everywhere, because the first bar of the song is, first off, let me introduce myself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's like it's introducing me, and it's kind of asserting my spot.
Yeah, and it lets like you it's a straight up introduction, and like that's the best part, you know, because then you even like you said like rep the 503, you know,
Yeah,
and like it's just like okay, like this is who he is, like we know where he's from, like I don't know, it's just cool, like you're like not really like this is like paying homage to like where you grew up, you know, like this is your city, it's your hometown,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and
I mean,
then
that's the track
the track,
title.
yeah, title, the Max, and then like the Max is you said it's like a
The light rail
light
train,
rail.
in like a, I don't even know how to describe it other than that it's a light rail train. It goes throughout Portland, public transportation, but it's iconic. I mean, it's the Max train. Like if you're from Portland, you know about the Max. And in the hook, I just say like, we're riding like the Max. I'm riding this thing out, and I'm here. It's kind of like me just saying I'm confident with my position, and like I'm ready to ride this out.
Yeah, for sure. Um, like I I was just so like excited for it to drop. And like I remember you went through some troubles with like DistroKid and going through all that.
Yeah.
Like what
Because I
really
can talk about
happened?
that. And this is, I guess this will be good for anyone who hasn't released music, who's like planning on releasing music. Um, Most people will use DistroKid. There's obviously TuneCore and CD Baby are the other big ones for distributor services, at least. But DistroKid, obviously, I mean, everyone uses it. It's the best one. It's cheapest because it's a one-time payment for a year, like $20 a year. If you pay for the lowest one, I'm paying the mid one. It's like $35 a year because it lets you actually choose when you want to release it, other than like, or rather than just releasing on the time you upload the track, which I don't know why anyone would want to do that. So $35 a year. But the issues that I ran into were you can't claim your artist profiles from the streaming service accounts until you have music on them. So like prior to the song's release, like I can't edit the artwork, I can't edit the pictures in there in my bio. So like by the time the song released, it like my profiles were blank, you know? And so I had to push it back, the release date back, because I originally was going to release it on my birthday in the middle of August, or the day before my birthday. And what happened was I had to basically submit a like claim to get my artist URI link, and then I could claim it for Spotify at least. Spotify is the only one I could do ahead of time. And so I did that, and obviously it's fine now, but you got to go through a lot of extra hoops your first release. So from now on, it'll be easier. But then obviously right when the song released, I had to go and request my Apple Music profile, my Amazon Music profile, which took a few days. So anyone who's listening there immediately, you know, would see a blank profile with my song on it, which sucked, but it's fine now. And then also they got my name wrong on Amazon Music, which is still a problem. And I contacted them about it. It's Clarke, John. I don't know why there's a comma there. Like, why the fuck? But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it was stressful at the time, but it's fine now.
Yeah. I just remember like talking you through that, being like, "Oh, you ready for this Friday?" And you're like, "Well, let me tell you what happened." I'm like, "Ah." You know?
Yeah, and it was just one thing after another too, because like everything just took time, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just instant.
For sure. And then you know, after the song release was just big on promotion.
Promotion.
So like, I know you've like been working on that. Like, how's that been going?
So promotion is it's tough, as we all know. I had to learn a lot about like what I should be doing, and I'm not gonna go through everything because there's so much. But basically, I learned all of it, and then one of my homies, who really he believes in me, and I thank him for that. He wants to be like my manager, like promotion guy. So I educated him on a lot of stuff, and he educated himself on a lot of stuff, and he's been out here grinding for me as kind of like my manager in a way, doing all the promotion heavy lifting, which is cool. I mean, I'm really grateful for him for that, and he's not even asking me to pay him. Like I offered, and like he's like, when you start getting paid, which I know you will, then like I'm fine with you paying me. But like for now, like I'm just here to help. And so shout out Eric for that. But what I've been doing personally is I personally go and I reach out to people who might be interested in my music. And what I mean by that is like, I think I told you, but I'll go in like a popular artist who like kind of sounds like me. Like for instance, I did Amine just because he's from Portland too, and I have that angle. And I went through his followers on Instagram and I just DM people. I'd be like, hey, like I see you follow Amine. You might like my music. I'm from Portland too. Blah 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 blah. Make it a little personal. Get that artist connection with the fans, which I think is cool. And I've gotten some great responses. I mean, not everyone you hit up is gonna be like someone who likes that type of music. But and also it puts people in a position to be really honest because like they don't owe me anything, you know. And so like, and I'm also invading their DMs. So like, if they want to be mean, they would be. And I've got some people saying they didn't like the beat, you know. I got some people saying like I was monotone or whatever, like just random shit. But like, most of the time, I mean, I even got probably 4 or 5 people out of like 20 or something posting on their stories about the song. I didn't even ask, and they just did, which is really, really cool. So if you're an artist coming up, that's a really cool way to personalize like that artist connection.
That's dope. Yeah. I know. I just like when it came out, I just like spammed it to like all my DMs, like all the, like, dude, I went deep in like the DMs. I was just like scrolling. I was like, oh, I haven't talked to you in like 40 weeks. Song. I just sent it to like, I sent it to easily like 50 people, I think.
Bro, I don't have the courage to do that. Like, if I haven't talked to someone, I'm not gonna be like,
I just did it because like it's just like random people, but like it was never like, oh, we beefed. It was like, ah, they were cool. They might check this out. I sent it to like some like I sent it to like the Nelk Boys. Have you ever watched like the Nelk Boys?
no.
Nah, I don't know. They just do a bunch of stupid shit, and
Okay.
they're like, I don't know. I sent it to them on like their DM. I don't think they opened it or saw it, whatever. Send it to Die Is Life because they do a thing where like I think every week they pick a banger of the week.
Oh, really?
And so I was hoping like they would hear it and then they'd be like, oh shit, like we'll make this our banger of the week. You know? I just don't think they've opened that either. Yeah, it's tough.
They probably get a lot of submissions.
Yeah, it's tough. But I've just been sending it to like fucking people. And everyone I come across, I put it on there. I'm like, here, listen to this.
Yeah, and I thank you for that. I mean, like, you've put in a lot of work for me for this song too. I mean, like we talked about earlier, I sent it to you to get you to kind of do your thing on the vocals. Meaning, like, you can talk about what you did, like EQ wise, plugin wise. One of I knew somebody, as a side note, who hit me up and was like, "What plugins do you use on the vocals? They sound amazing." And I was like, "Oh, I told him what you use." So that's a props to you.
Thanks. Like, that feels like good because I'm always like so subconscious about like when I do vocals or just any kind of
like
EQ.
that actually happened, and that guy, like, he's a musician too, so like, thought it
That's
sounded
dope.
great.
That feels like good. Like,
And also, people, we recorded this on a Blue Snowball USB mic,
a Blue Snowball,
$60 mic.
Yeah,
that I've had for like 10 years too. So
that
like,
was such a challenge. Like hearing it, I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I mean, I did stuff, I did some funky stuff just to try and get some like low end, just to get it to sound like the way it was. Like the API like came in clutch, and I was glad that like my dad was like, hey man, like I'll get that for you for your birthday if you want it. And I've had that since like April, and then when you were like, hey, like here's a track, I was like, dope, let's run it. I did that. Did some compression, and stuff. And then I got this really cool like free plugin. It was like a Hornet V2 something. And it's a gain staging plugin. And what you do is you literally just like you put on the track and you click auto, and then you just press play, and then it like analyzes the track and then just that audio file itself, and it'll like raise the gain or like bring the gain down to like a comfortable level. And the cool thing is you could do that with all the tracks if you wanted to, and you just like you put them all on auto. You'll have like, depending on how many like fucking like tracks you have, you could have like 30 of these little windows open. If they're all clicked to auto, when you press play, it'll like do a gain all on its own, so it sounds like a nice level.
And so is it kind of like an automation tool in a way?
It's like a little bit of an automation tool, but once it finds its level, it stops, and then it just stays at that level the whole time. And you can like tweak it here and there.
So like an automation like compressor kind of.
Not really. It brings it up to like it's just adding gain, not really compression. Just add some gain. So like if it's like low, it'll bring it up to a comfortable level within the mix itself, like whatever already is there. And that's like part of like the gain staging process, just making sure all the levels sound fine before you start going into like mixing and stuff. But no, that one came in clutch too, because it was able to like make your voice like present and like bring it to the front and not have it just like hide behind 808s. So that one came
it really helped. Like when I remember when I got it, it was like it really sounded good. And I mean, when I got it back, like I expected to do like more of my own little stuff to it, because like I always like to do shit like that for my vocals, and all I did was like adjust the EQ a little bit because like
Yeah.
everything else sounded great.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean it was a cool process. Like, you know, I think it's great that we live in a time where we can just send files across states.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and people never used to have this before, and I feel like we take it for granted, you know. But like now, this is how the world kind of has to work. And like,
Yeah.
I feel I'm not saying that like COVID came at the right time because it shouldn't have come at all. But like, you
No.
know what I'm saying? Like, I think musician. Oh, hold on. Musicians and artists, producers, you know, rappers, anyone in the music industry, like they're set because of the technology we have to just send files, send everything. Like, you know, Benny puts all his projects on was there
That's Ido.
Ido?
My dog. Hey, Ido. Go out the door this way. This door, not that door. Ido.
I hear his little paws.
I don't know.
It's great.
He's funny.
But I was saying, like, anyone in the music industry right now, like, we're set because of just the technology. Like, we can just continue to keep making this music, you know? And especially like people who have all these studios, they can just say like it's their own studio, like come in. They can have whoever they want, you know. They can continue it, but obviously we're not at that point.
No,
We
not
can have
yet.
our own studio.
It makes it easier for people, honestly. I mean, like, the song just happened, you know? It wasn't that much sweat. And, like, I do wonder, though, I mean, back to the point about, like, COVID happening, is like, if we finished out that school year with the EP be out, would the song have ever been made? I mean, you know what I mean?
The EP definitely would have been out because like I remember the beginning of that semester, you and I were like we were just dealing with like classes and like outside stuff. Like, you know, we're trying to get into the swing of a second semester, so we weren't really in the studio as much. And then
Right.
we were about to like start on the grind again, you know, because we took that like break in like the winter to just go home and enjoy the holidays.
Mm.
And then we came back, we're like, all right, let's get this going. And we were about to get it going.
We
And
were
then,
almost done, and then we ran into the licensing issues for the beats,
yeah,
um, which
that
sucked.
was tough.
Um, but I mean, I feel like when that EP does come out, you know, it'll be better than it would have been.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, like you took the files with you, huh? Right?
Mm.
You have them? Okay, good. Because I could have gone to school and got them, but we're good. All's
No,
well.
I got him.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I still listen to that EP sometimes. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I need some good bars right now. Hold up, and I'll just play it off my phone because I have the files. You know.
It's just fun to listen to because it's like the memories associated with it. Like we're just grinding in the studio, bouncing ideas off each other, and like every
Yeah.
time I hear a certain bar or something on one of those tracks, I'm like, oh, I remember when we recorded that take or
Mhm.
whatever.
Like every time, yeah, every time I hear like the opening track, you know, and all the like the cool like automation we did, I'm just like, oh, that was such a good idea,
That was a good
you
one.
know. And I'm like, I remember like me saying the idea and Clark knew what to do, you know. Or sometimes like it was the opposite, like you would say an idea and I'm like, oh, hold up, I got it, and I would do it. You're like, no way, that's dope, you know. I really miss that voice changer. That thing was so fun to use.
Bro, that thing was fire.
Like
And
even
that
if we didn't,
de-esser, bro.
that de-esser
That
was
universal audio.
so beautiful. I'm upset we can't get those.
I
Like just
know.
you have to buy like another like what was it, like $600, $700 just to use that.
Yeah. It's insane. It was a fire
Ridiculous.
de-esser,
Oh, it's
though.
great for sure. It's the best. But that studio's not even open
Right.
this semester.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Hopefully this spring we can get it going, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
hopefully, man. Hopefully. Well, got anything else you want to say about this fucking banger of a song, The Max?
Not really. I mean, I just hope people are enjoying it, you know. Go stream it. It helped me out. I'm trying to get it past that 1,000 plays,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll admit I probably play it like twice a day. Maybe happens.
I appreciate it.
It's cool. Like, dude, Trevor's one of your biggest promoters. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, anytime he comes across somebody, he's like, "Bro, check this song out." And like,
The homie.
yeah, and like some of these, like, some of our friends, like, they listened to it and they were like, this sounds really good. Like this sounds like pretty professional, you know? And like that's kind of like a, you know, comment on us, like on our work and like what we know and what we're trying to do.
I take pride in it.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope to hear like people that, you know, obviously like a producer's gonna hear things like what the hell were you doing? You know, but like just to like the general public, like they'll be like, this is dope. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, I mean, hey, there's more music on the way, right?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited to see what you get out there.
I think, you know, I'm for now I'm thinking like we both know about this remix I got of this song, and then I think I'm trying to release like 3-ish singles this year, and then based on how the promotion goes for that, I've been working on this EP that could come out in the summer.
Yeah, be dope.
So yeah, that's the lineup for right now.
Summer's a long ways away, but we'll get there, dude.
We will.
It's tough to think about summer, bro. We just started school.
I was waiting for Thanksgiving break.
Facts. Then the semester's over technically, but
yeah, basically.
But yeah, all right. Well, dude, as always, like you know, I'm like your biggest fan. I'm not even gonna lie. I am. Like I love working with you, bro. Much. Like this track was great. It's a great experience for me. It made us closer as like, you know, I learned more about you and what you like. So just thanks for letting me be a part of that, man.
Thanks for being a part of it. I mean, like you helped make it, you know. And if you didn't like this song, like I don't know where we'd be.
Yeah, for real. But all right, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We're gonna do another one soon, hopefully. Yeah, it's gonna come out in like a day or maybe less than a day.
Weekend part 3.
Weekend part 3. We're gonna finish that up. That's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I will catch you in that episode. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. Everybody, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
All right. Peace.